If I told you this entire personal assistant we have been walking through 40 plus files, the agent core, the memory system, the Google integrations, the chat UI, all of it was built by AI from a single prompt.
From a single prompt? So you didn't write any of the code yourself?
Not a single line. I guided it, I collaborated it, I made some decisions, I reviewed the plan, but every line of the code written by Claude.
Wow, that sounds very amazing. You have to show me how, Rafi. Welcome back to Build AI with AI. I am Sreeja.
I am Raffi. So, if you have been following this series, in episode 1, we understood what AI agents are, what is autonomy of AI agent, how it works, the brain, the tools, the memory. In episode 2, we opened up the actual code repo. It's also available for you to download and check and walk through every layer of the personal assistant line by line.
Yes. And I also remember at the end of episode 2, Rafi, you showed us something interesting and you gave a teaser like next time we will show you how to build an AI agent with AI, right? So I've been waiting for this episode.
And here we are. This is the episode where things gets real because the honest truth is I did not sit down and type out 40 plus files and thousands of lines by myself. I did not manually write the agentic loop, the memory system, the tool definition, or the Firebase cloud functions. I used AI to build all of it.
So this sounds like literally build AI with AI.
Exactly. And what I want to show today is not just AI write the code. Everybody knows that by now because everybody are using ChatGPT, Claude AI as an interface as a user. What I want to show is the workflow, the process, how to go with a single prompt from the blank folder to the production ready AI agent by collaborating with AI, not just prompting it.
Got it. So what is the difference between the normal use of AI chatbot and this one?
Huge difference. And that's what this episode is about. I'm going to walk you through the exact steps I follow, the initial prompt, the planning phase, the interactive decisions that we made together along with Claude AI, and the implementation. You will see every screenshot from the actual session.
Let us do it. I can't wait for that. But first, before we jump in, for people who are new here or first time watching this episode, can we just give a recap like what tool we are using so that they can get an idea?
Yeah. So we are using Claude Code. It's an Anthropic official CLI tool. So CLI gives a very powerful mode of working. You install it, open the terminal, and you have the conversation with Claude right inside your development environment. It can read files, write files, think, run commands, search the web. Most importantly, it can plan before it builds. How to set up Claude Code that's available in our previous series. You can refer that.
Great. So this is not about just an autocomplete of your editor. So it can actually, it's an actual agent that can build an entire project. Is that what you're referring to?
Exactly. The key features we will use today are plan mode, which is more powerful in Cloud Code, and interactive questions, which is also a very unique feature in Cloud Code. It can ask you in a workflow a lot of question decisioning together, and auto accept mode. These are the three key features of Cloud Code which we'll be demonstrating to help in the whole journey.
Got it. So let us go back to the beginning, Rafi. So let's start with the basics. Like you have an empty folder now. What do you do? How do we build an agent now from the blank slate?
So here is the thing. Before we start, let's look at how people use typically. Say most people get wrong because they open Cloud Code or any other AI tool and type something in a single line with few words. Build me a personal assistant, and they get disappointed with the output that gives you is a very generic and incomplete.
Yeah, because the prompt is also very vague, right?
Right. On the other hand, there are people who do extreme side of it. They write a few page of document upfront, okay, in the name of spec coding or giving the requirements, detailed requirements to AI, thinking they need to spell out every detail before AI can do anything. So this one on the other side restricts the best practices from AI decisioning. For example, if you ask to use Python for front end, you will miss the opportunity of AI deciding to use React for front end. So you should not be too vague with a single line prompt, and you should not be too extreme, giving everything and telling AI to do. It will listen to you. So you need to leverage the AI with a moderate approach.
So how do we identify this sweet spot? Like not too vague or not too extreme. How do we find that sweet spot?
Yeah, the sweet spot is what I call as a guided prompt. You give enough context for AI to understand what you want, but you trust the AI to ask you the right questions. Think of it, you hire a brilliant architect, you don't hand them a blueprint. That's their job typically. But you also don't just say, build me a house to the architect. You say little bit of more context. I want to build a 3 bedroom house with a modern kitchen and luxury bathroom in this neighborhood with a specific budget of certain amount.
Got it. So you have to give the enough work to AI, but also let AI bring its own expertise. That is the sweet spot I understand from here.
Exactly, exactly. So let me share what is the prompt I started with. Okay, give me a moment.
Yeah, I'm so interested to see the prompt.
And I want everyone watching this video to pay the attention to the structure for the sweet spot, what I call as a guided prompt, because this is the pattern that you can use for reuse for any project. So the structure is important. Build an AI-powered personal assistant. So you're telling what you want and a brief requirement. And below, I pointed out in a list of items. Okay, what is that I want in a very brief manner. I am not giving too detail. So I want a backend, agentic backend with Claude API, and I mentioned build front end with mobile friendly interface. I did not specify which technology to use. Like that, I mentioned multiple items. Okay, I want an MCP integration and 3-tier memory system and tune format for the tokens for efficiency and agent skills and configuration. Okay, and also 2 lines at the bottom to guide them to research and also do a planning before the design the system and then code plan, design and code.
Yeah, this looks very amazing, Rafi. So I can see the structure here. You got the tech stack, you got the features, and this is very interesting. And you also told it to research first and then use the plan mode. So what is it?
Yeah, that last line is critical. So research the latest documentation, right? And use plan mode. So without that, Claude might use the knowledge that is trained with LLM, and then it will just start coding. So nowadays, AI architecture and the new release are getting released before the LLM gets released. So when you write a research mode, it will go and read all the documentation. Since I said Anthropic, it will go and read Anthropic agent, Claude agent SDK. It will read about how the tools can be used. Then it will do. Second part, the plan mode. Without that, it will start jumping to the work because you're asking to do work. If you say plan mode, it will think first. Okay, so before doing the coding, so which is very important. So both keywords are very important to initiate the thinking mode and plan to make sure it kind of analyzes and then do a system design, then start coding.
Got it. So you're basically saying it to first not to guess, but go and look up first and then do the rest of the things.
Exactly. The plan mode tells Cloud Code to switch into different mode where it explores, asks questions, and design a plan instead of just writing the code immediately. This is the difference between a junior developer who starts coding on the day one or a senior architect who spends the first day understanding the problem.
Yeah, I love that example. I can relate that relate with that. So what happened after you enter this prompt? What happens after you hit the enter button?
Yeah. So this is the prompt I started with. So now, after giving the prompt, Claude goes into research mode because we asked it to research, right? So if you look at this screen, it is starting with I gathered comprehensive information from all the documentation. So it summarized what it found. So it found something about agent SDK, which is available in Python, TypeScript. What are the out of the box tools are available with Cloud Code, which can be reused for agent core, etc. And also about MCP connector and tuned format. Since we asked about it, what are the how to use the tuned format it researched, and what are the agent skills that are available to build a modular structure for the system. And it also concluded, so we started Cloud in a particular folder, right? So it looked at the code. Is this an existing project or a new project? You can see there is an empty directory. So it's a fresh start. So yeah, sorry.
So it knows that it's starting from scratch. But here's what I find it interesting. So instead of just diving into the code, it says, I have a few questions to clarify before designing the architecture, right?
Yeah, that is the magic moment. Since we asked used to plan mode, right? So it is entering into the plan mode, which is a collaborator mode. So it's not that you ask AI, AI is a doer. So now we are working as a collaboration with AI. So it's not just a code generator. It's just like a good architect would do. So yeah, architect will think, ask question, and then get clarity, and then start the work.
Yeah, that really makes sense. So, what kind of questions did it ask?
Yeah, so let's look at one by one. So it is going in a workflow. So we'll start with the first question, which is the backend language preference. So which you can see there. So it is asking, it's a workflow that you can see backend language, front end, MCP, memory type, and these are the four questions. The first question, backend, it is giving the options. Okay, should I use TypeScript or should I use Python or you want me to use any other language?
I see that it recommends TypeScript here. May I know the reason why?
So because TypeScript is one language for the entire stack, so you can build front end or back end with TypeScript. So you can easily share the types between front end and back end. Firebase Cloud Function is natively supports TypeScript, so that is one language which you can use for the entire stack. So it is the best option that is chosen by AI.
That's smart, right? So it's not just asking blindly, it is recommending based on the context of the project that we are currently building.
Exactly. So now I selected TypeScript and I moved on to the next question. Okay, so now let me go to the next question. So next question is on front end. It is asking based on the popular frameworks whether you want to build with React or Vue.js or you want to build with React Native for mobile, etc. So I went with React and Next.js.
Okay, so it confirmed the options for backend and front end so far. That is quite interesting. So, what did it ask next?
Yeah, so let's go to next question. So that's about MCP priority. The third question, which is interesting because so far the two question, it was a single selection. So it was kind of asking for one input. So this question, it is a multi-select. So you can select multiple option because integrations, you need to do multiple integrations. So it is giving the options. What are the integrations you want to select? Yeah, I picked couple of them to start with.
So, it's not just doing what you asked it to do, it is offering more options in case you want something else that you didn't think of at the starting.
Right. See, good observation. I mentioned only Gmail, calendar, and Drive in my initial prompt,
Yeah.
but it also suggested Notion, Slack, Discord, etc. Because eventually we need those integration for a personal assistant. So that is the AI bringing its own knowledge. When it thinks, it can think, okay, user may need this integration. So it's bringing its own knowledge on the table. For now, I picked up Google Calendar, Gmail, and Drive to start with.
Got it. Got it. So, what is the next question that it asked?
Yeah. So now next question in the workflow is memory type. So you need to enter once you select your choice, you can go up and down and then you can select and then enter. The fourth question is on memory type. You remember the autonomy that we discussed in episode one. So memory is very important for AI agent to work with a conscious mind. So it is asking an option. Do you want only short-term memory or session only memory or full memory system? It is also recommending you go with full memory system, which is having short-term memory, long-term memory, episodic memory, the things that we talked about in episode 1 and 2. So I went with full memory system because I want assistant with complete memory to assist me.
Got it. So I'm able to connect this with the episode one, the architecture that you showed. No, so what is MCP? What is memory? So all this architecture we saw here, this is kind of clarifying that with you before it builds the entire application. That's so amazing. Yeah.
So now after selecting all of that, the last option, if you see in the workflow, is a submit. There, say, look at this. Before moving on, it shows you a summary of all the choices that you made that you can see below. So backend,
Yeah.
you selected TypeScript, front end, what you selected. So then you can just do a submit button and after you review and make sure you're happy, then submit.
So this looks like a review page before we submit an application form whenever we apply something.
Exactly. Yeah, that is a great analogy. You are reviewing the details that you filled in the conversation, in the dialogue that you are having with AI before AI starts building. So far, you did not write single line of code. You are just doing planning. You are collaborating with AI, and then you are agreeing, okay, this is what I want.
Yeah, that's good to have a review there before we proceed. So once you submit, what happens next?
Yeah. So now once you submit, let me go to next screen. So after I submitted the answer, Claude went into deep thinking. So you can see, so it's acknowledging the choices are excellent choices. Now I have all information I needed. So it went into deep thinking mode because the clarifications are there. And then it created a comprehensive plan, a detailed plan, which also it did a self review by itself before it's presenting. So you see, it planned well with feature one. What is that first thing it need to do? Implement a backend, and then second feature, implement the front end, and third feature, do the configuration. Fourth feature, do the integration. So it is a comprehensive plan which is ready for implementation.
So it's kind of reviewing its own plan before it shows it to you.
So look
That's
at the
interesting.
bottom line. Yeah. So the plan looks comprehensive. You should now exit the plan mode to get the user approval.
This is kind of like doing a quality control on itself, no? So that's actually how a good project manager works in office.
Exactly. So what we explained, we talked about three features. So collaboration feature and plan mode. So far we covered the plan mode completely. It does not just plan, it plans, reviews the plan against your requirements, then ask for approval. You can either reject it or ask for changes or approve it. So if you want to improve certain things, you can chat with the Claude, and then you can make some changes, create a plan version 2. Once you are okay with it, you can just approve it, and then it will start working.
So we have the liberty to enhance that. So here in this case, you approved the current plan. What it's showing.
Yes, it was thorough. So I read through the full plan and the document, full plan document that it generated. I was quite happy with it. It was thorough, well structured, and covered everything I asked for. Yes, I approved it.
So till this point, no code has been written by you. It's all only collaboration.
Yes, you are right. So not a single line. So we had a conversation with Claude so far. We were in plan mode, collaboration mode, made four key decisions: one for backend, one for front end, and one for configuration and integration. And then we agreed on our architecture. Once I accept, the building starts. So far, no code written.
Okay, so this is the part I've been waiting for. So once the building starts, how does the 40 plus files that you showed at the start of this episode got created?
Yeah. So now, once I say approve, say here you see, right? So this is the killer feature of Claude Code. So auto accept mode. So this is the third feature that we touched upon when we started auto accept mode. So normally, every time Claude wants to create a file or run a command or make a change, it takes your permission. But when you already upload a comprehensive plan, you just trust the direction and auto accept. So one of the video I talked about changing gear. So it's like you are running in a highway with a fifth gear at high speed. You don't need to every time accept each file change, and it will do everything for you.
So you don't have to click yes every time it asks, like 200 times, 300 times, how many times it is asking. You can just auto accept if you're thorough with the plan.
Exactly. So you enable auto accept, the call, Claude executes the autonomous mode, enter into autonomous mode, creating the files, installing the packages, running the commands while you watch. So you can just sip your coffee, and then AI can do the things for you.
Wow. But can you still see everything it is doing?
Absolutely. Everything is transparent. And say, look at this to-do list, right? So first it gave, okay, how to execute the plan. What is the implementation phase? Okay, what are the things it need to do? The plan is approved, and then it has a clarity on the to-do list, and it will do one by one.
I can see a lot of tasks here. Like it is divided like epics into user stories and tasks and doing it in all in order. And you can see the first one already running, like initializing next.js project with TypeScript.
Yeah, that's correct. So now once you give auto accept, it will start the task one by one. And look at this, the details that it shows. So 2 minutes, 22 second, So far it is running, and it used 5.6K tokens, and it thought for 2 seconds for that particular task. And you can see exactly how long it has been running, how many tokens it's used, and how much time it spent on thinking. And it will keep showing you what are the files have changed, etc.
It's very transparent, no? And this is like watching a developer work, but at a 10 times more, much faster pace.
Yeah, better than that. So the numbers, so somebody agrees with 10x, somebody doesn't agree with 10x, but somebody can do maybe 20x or 100x. Because this developer doesn't forget things, doesn't get tired. He can work for hours together to complete the big work and follows the plan exactly that you designed and agreed. So that's important to get a plan, review thoroughly, and give it to AI so it can work hours together to complete the work.
Got it. So that brings me to the most important question. How long did it took for this to run and what is the final result?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Say now, did it complete the work or did it come out in between, right? So it took, say, it typically takes 5 to 10 minutes. Say for me, it took around that time. It depends on the application that you build. I have ran through some execution where it ran more than an hour. So it depends on what task that you give. In this case, it took only 5 to 10 minutes because it's a simple one for AI. You can give more complex problem and create a proper plan and then let it run autonomously. For this task, it will take typically 5 to 10 minutes for you.
Yeah, and I can see the status is all done and like 9 major features all done. Super.
Yeah, so it created 9 features. So this slide shows about the status after completing. I did not take the screenshots of when it is doing it, so you can write yourself. So your question is how many files, right? So let me
Yeah.
talk about that. In this slide, say it is saying I completed the work, and the summary, project summary is 40 plus files, and it divided into core configurations. It created proper based on best practices, keeping configuration in JSON files or rule files or JS file, and front end what are the files, and back end what are the files, what is the agent system, memory system, etc. So put together 40 plus files, thousands of lines of code created in 5 to 10 minutes.
Within 5 to 10 minutes, 40 plus files without even writing a single line of code.
Yeah,
Wow,
not
that's
manually.
really, really amazing. And does it all work? All these files?
Yes, yes. So it worked 100%. I did not change. So these are the commands. A also tells you how do you run? Yeah, there is a README file generated and there is a getting started file generated. You can go to the directory, then you can run few commands. So it also tells you what commands you want to run. So you can do a npm install. You can create your environment file .env file. It is given a sample env example. You can copy it and put your right configuration, whether it is a Firebase integration or API key, and then you just run it. It may take 1 minute for you to start.
Wow. So from one prompt to a completely working app. What is
Yep.
the real moment it is? Great that is. Okay, now for everyone who's watching this, let us make sure that we understand the workflow. So, because I think this is the most real value of this episode. So, the process I would like to summarize, Rafi. So, first
Yep.
step one is that we have to write a guided prompt, which is not too vague or not too detailed, but include the tech stack or the key features or tell the AI to research and plan first. That will be the first step.
Yes.
Then step two is basically let the AI to research. Like it has to read the latest documentation, understand the ecosystem, and come back with clarifying questions if it has any.
Very
Number three,
important.
yeah. Number three is answering the questions. So AI might ask you about the key decisions like the tech stack or features or any architecture patterns. And we have to pick what we want. So it's kind of interactive. That will give the context to AI more, right? That is step
Yep.
three. And then step four is reviewing the plan that AI is creating. That will create a comprehensive plan, and we have to review it against our requirements. And we have to either approve and reject, or we can ask for changes to enhance it, right?
Yep.
Then step five is auto accept and build. Once the plan is approved, the AI will execute it autonomously, creating all the files, installing the dependencies, and building the complete project. And step six is run and verify. So use the commands to start the app, and your app is running, right?
Yeah, that's the workflow. So you summarized it well. So we talked through that in the episode, explaining one by one. So you clearly captured in that 6 steps. So that is the workflow. So here is the key insight. So this isn't about the AI doing everything. It's about AI handling the tedious parts, the boilerplate, the configuration, writing between the components, while you focus the important parts. Okay, there is a shift in what you do, what AI do. So it is that is very important to take out as insight what the system should do, how it should behave, and what decision to make are your responsibility. So if you don't do that properly, the outcome will not be perfect. So you need to be very clear what system should do, how it should behave, and what decision to make, and let AI do the heavy part, uh, doing writing thousands of lines code in minutes.
Yeah. Thanks for the workflow, Rafi. Before we wrap up, give me your top tips for someone who wants to try this workflow today after seeing this video.
Yeah, here we go. So I want to summarize with 5 tips, which is very important, right? So always start with plan mode. So don't let AI start coding immediately. The outcome may not be that great. So you skip plan. If you skip planning, you will end up with the code that works but isn't architected well. So use the phrase use plan mode in your prompt. So number 2 tip, tell AI to research documentation. The libraries and APIs change constantly, especially if you're building agentic apps. So the SDK is getting updated, agents is getting added, even the cloud functionalities will be added. So tell Claude to look up for the latest documentation. The phrase research the latest documentation in your prompt makes a real difference. Number 3, don't over specify. Your prompt should be a project brief, what you want, and not how to build it. Let the AI bring its knowledge of best practices, design patterns, and architecture. If you over specify, you are just using it as a typist. Let AI think it knows better than you with the LLM, the big brain. So your prompt should be a project brief. That is very important. Then it will start into collaborative mode. If it has any question, it will ask you, and if you tell it clearly, if you give big spec document, it will not ask you. It will go by the your ask. Number 4, take the interactive question seriously. When the AI asks you about the backend language or memory type, don't just pick the default one. Think about it, spend some time, don't hurry. These are very key decision, architectural decision that affect your entire project. So AI is giving a chance to shape the outcome. So it is giving the best option. But if you want to change, you can as well accept one of the option or chat with AI to kind of change that option if you want. The last
Yeah.
tip, yeah. So last tip, right? You created a plan, auto accept mode. Many people don't trust it, the AI. So once you create a plan, collaborate well, use the interaction and collaboration. Once your plan is ready, go for auto accept. Maybe you will get that trust gradually. Once you use auto accept the plan, the trusted plan, you need to also stay alert. So auto accept is powerful, but it is not close your laptop and go get a coffee. Watch the progress, right? What file it is creating. Is it doing something wrong, right? AI also can make mistakes. If anything is wrong, you can interrupt and then give a different path. Say if you are going for a drive, if you are going in a road, if the road is closed at some point, you may need to take a diversion. So you can make a diversion even in the accepted plan. But if your plan is solid, I think it works 100%. So I have done many times. AI works at full speed, much faster than humans. Humans cannot do that.
That is really useful, Rafi. Thank you for sharing the pro tips with us. So, just stepping back, what does this mean for developers? Why should they listen to this, or what does this? What do they gain out of it?
Yeah. Yeah. Now we talked about the episode. We gave the tips, right? Let's give a big picture. What does it mean for them, right? What you saw today is human making strategic decision at every step. Which language to use, what framework to use, which integration to go for, what architecture to go for, and how should the agent behave. So those are the key decision that requires experience, judgment, and understanding the problem well. So as a
Yeah.
human, you need to do those. Before we used to do kind of architect design code. Now what human does when AI does majority of the part is changing. So you need to work on these items, the strategy and the things that I called out and take a collaborative decision.
Exactly. So the AI handled the implementation part, but the vision was completely yours.
Right, right. The barrier to entry for building sophisticated AI application drops dramatically. That is the change. A solo developer can now build what used to require a team of developer and testers. A weekend project can now be a full stack application with a professional architecture.
Yeah, that completely makes sense. And it's not about replacing developers, right? It's kind of amplifying them.
Exactly. And honestly, the developers who learn this workflow, who learn to collaborate with AI effectively, they are going to build things faster than those who don't. So it's a superpower if you learn to use it. And also there is a new terminology is coming. Okay. People are not calling it a developer anymore. People are calling it as a AI builder. So once you know how to use this, whether you build IT system or agentic system, you will be called as a AI builder.
That's a nice term to call. And what about the code quality, Rafi? Is it good enough for production, the code quality?
Look at what we walked through in episode 2, right? We went through the code. So it was having proper error handling. It was handling security rules, who can access the data in Firebase with the Firebase rules, type safety. It had a null check, etc. Although it generated 1,000 lines of code in minutes. Clean architecture with separation of concerns, front end, back end, and modular architecture reuse. The code is solid, but this is important. You should always review AI generated code before deploying to production. Treat it like code from a very talented junior developer. It's probably great, but you need to verify. When it's generating very quickly. Before going into production, you need to review thoroughly the code. You can also leverage AI when you do that. But verification is very important before you deploy into production.
Yeah, that completely I agree with that. So we have to first read the code, understand it, and then only put it into production.
Exactly.
Great. So thank you so much for all the insights, Rafi. Coming to the end of the session, what is coming next in the series?
So we have done the theory in episode 1. What is the autonomy of AI agent? In episode 2, we went through the code base, how to build a AI, the workflow. In this episode 3, we talked about how do we build AI with AI, so that you kind of do it quickly. So in the next episode, that is the final episode for this series, we are going to talk about how do you deploy this into a cloud. So that is the next episode, the deploying to production.
Yeah, I think that would be more useful for everyone who is watching this series. And people who are all watching, please try this right now after looking into this video. You have everything available in our book and our website as well. And we would love to see it. Whatever you're trying, please drop a comment. Whatever you're building, if you have any queries, you can drop a comment. We'll be here to respond to yours.
So we love to see that. I think absolutely. So here is a challenge to everyone who is watching. So go to a terminal, install the Claude Code, create an empty folder, write a guided prompt that we talked about for your idea. So you don't need to repeat what we did. It could be a customer support agent, or it could be anything that you want. And you can put a comment, what you created, share your experience. If you have any question, you drop a comment. We'll help you to guide you to do it.
Yeah. So if you have made it this far in the episode, first of all, thank you. And second, you now know something that most developers don't. So how to go from a zero to a production quality AI application built using AI itself.
Yeah, it's AI building AI. So that is a maturity. AI is it now. So it is not in the future. It is right now. Okay, so you need to kind of make most use of it.
Yeah.
That is what make you unique.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we have more episodes coming and more series coming. Happy building.
Happy building.